Welcome back to the Stocks Update. If you're passionate about the stock market, EV companies, or just looking to stay updated with Lucid Motors, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into Lucid, analyzing the latest market data, investor behavior, trading volume, options activity, rumors about partnerships, and more. We'll also touch on technical indicators and what they may suggest for the stock's near-term direction. So, let's get right into it. Lucid stock showed some positive movement today, rising by approximately 2.58%, aligning with an overall bullish trend across the broader stock market. This upward momentum wasn't isolated to Lucid alone. Many electric vehicle EV stocks experienced similar gains. While it's always more reassuring to see gains driven by company-specific catalysts, green is still green, and Lucid investors certainly won't complain. The stock traded within a range of $2.36 to $2.50 throughout the session. It's worth noting that this is a fairly tight trading range, which can suggest investor hesitation but also potential accumulation at current levels. What really caught our eye today was the trading volume. A staggering 124.95 million shares exchanged hands, compared to the average daily volume of about 107 million shares. That's a significant spike, and much of this can be attributed to algorithmic trading. These are high-frequency trades carried out by AI and bots that scan headlines, sentiment, and price action in real time. One of the main catalysts for today's positive market sentiment actually came from political news, rather than any direct company announcement from Lucid itself. Former President Donald Trump made some interesting remarks about Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, indicating that while he might not fire Powell, he would likely shift away from aggressive tariff policies with China. In essence, Trump suggested a more diplomatic and less aggressive economic stance, and the market reacted very favorably. Algorithmic traders, designed to respond instantly to such statements, amplified the move. As these bots picked up on the optimistic shift in economic tone, they helped drive indexes and many individual stocks, including Lucid, higher. Beyond bots and retail traders, institutional players also appeared to be active. There was substantial buying activity in the secondary market, with about 80% of the transactions marked as buys. This includes some noteworthy block trades. A large transaction took place after hours, valued at $3.24 million for 1.3 million shares. That's not pocket change. This type of volume typically reflects confidence or positioning by big investors. On the dark pool, a private exchange where institutional trades happen away from the public eye, we saw several big trades as well, ranging between $1.3 to $1.44 million in value. This institutional interest is impressive, especially considering the negative backdrop from Tesla's latest earnings report. Speaking of Tesla, it's interesting to note that despite Tesla releasing disappointing earnings, Lucid didn't get dragged down in sympathy like it often has in the past. Historically, Tesla's performance had a domino effect on smaller EV companies. When Tesla stumbled, others like Lucid and Rivian usually followed suit. But that didn't happen this time. This might be an early indication that Lucid is beginning to establish its own identity in the EV market, rather than being just a shadow of Tesla. Surprisingly, there was no official news, SEC filings, or press releases from Lucid today. That makes the price action even more intriguing. It's entirely sentiment and momentum driven. However, there's a rumor making the rounds. The Public Investment Fund PIF of Saudi Arabia, Lucid's major stakeholder, is allegedly exploring a potential acquisition of Nissan. This news set the rumor mill on fire, with some investors speculating that this could lead to a strategic partnership between Lucid and Nissan. Now let's be real for a moment. Lucid investors have a bit of a reputation for hoping every other car company might become a potential partner. At one point, it felt like people were even suggesting McDonald's would team up with Lucid. So while the speculation about Nissan is interesting, we need to be cautiously realistic. Although it's true that Nissan's stock is relatively cheap and the PIF could easily afford it, it's important to remember that many PIF-owned companies don't have any partnership with Lucid, despite sharing the same investment parent. If a deal was to happen, it likely would have already been in motion. So at this stage, take the Nissan-Lucid partnership talk with a grain of salt. Now this part is particularly worth highlighting. Short sellers actually return shares today. That's a major development. Roughly 1.15 million shares were returned by short sellers, which means bearish traders close their positions usually because they don't expect the price to fall further in the short term. That's rare for Lucid, considering it has been a favorite target for shorts for quite some time. Right now, 23.26% of Lucid's free float is still being shorted. That equals around 282.63 million shares, with an average cost-to-borrow rate of 2.38%. This level of short interest indicates there's still a lot of skepticism around Lucid's future. But if the stock keeps gaining traction, we could see a short squeeze scenario unfold. Let's move on to the options market. Today, Lucid saw a total options volume of 1.15 million, split into 1.8 million in call premiums and the rest in puts. Interestingly, 55% of the options activity leaned bullish, which reflects an optimistic outlook among traders. One of the standout trades was a complex straddle strategy involving $849K in total premiums. Here's the breakdown. A bullish trade for $330K was placed using May 16, 2025 $2.50 puts that were sold, signaling that the trader doesn't expect the price to fall below $2.50 by that date. Meanwhile, two bearish trades were executed using June 20, 2025 $2.50 puts that were bought, suggesting the same trader is hedging for a decline later in the year. So what does this tell us? This trader likely expects a short-term rally followed by a mid-term pullback. It's all about managing risk while capturing upside potential. From a technical analysis perspective, Lucid closed at $2.39, which places it neatly between the R1 resistance level and the pivot point. These are key zones for traders to watch. If we see a broader market pullback, keep an eye on the $2.33 support level. This could be where buyers step in. On the flip side, if momentum continues, the next big resistance sits at $2.55. Lucid is currently inching higher in after-hours trading, with a gain of 1.22%, taking the price close to the 50-day moving average at $2.46. A strong move above that level could trigger more buying interest and set the stage for a test of higher moving averages. $2.61 is the 100-day moving average. $2.89 is the 200-day moving average. If Lucid can build momentum and break through these levels, it could signal a significant trend reversal. Final thoughts. Today was a compelling day for Lucid stock. Even though the movement wasn't triggered by any direct company announcement, the stock benefited from broader market optimism, institutional interest, and short sellers pulling back. Whether the Nissan rumor holds any weight remains to be seen, but the technical and options data suggest that investors should pay close attention in the coming days. Will Lucid finally break above key resistance and hold it? Or is today's move just another head fake in a volatile market? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear your predictions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth market analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.